Sure. Thank you. Really, want to start with saying how much I appreciate our seniors. This is the last game for them to play at home. Hopefully we'll send them off the right way. They've been very instrumental in helping us win a lot of football games over the past several years. Obviously, this year has been very frustrating. Has not gone the way we wanted to. It's been very well documented how different it is and unsettling it is and disappointing. So hopefully we could finish up the right way. Last week was a lot like the week before. Did some really good things. Played extremely hard for a while. Did not execute in critical moments and didn't play a good second half. And that needs to be addressed. We got to work extremely hard this week to make sure we play a complete game and finish and play two halves of quality football. So hopefully we will build on that and get better and move into the future the right way. So we are looking forward to this game, and again, really want to say how much I respect and appreciate our seniors.
All right, any questions?
I also need to probably say it's different. Getting ready for South Carolina, not having Will on the opposing sideline. I really have a lot of respect for Will in the work that he's done and just the competitor that he is. And so won't be the same competing without him being over there as well.
Josh?
Hey, Mark, you kind of got into it there. There's just how strange this year has been, but you guys, both you and South Carolina, are the only two teams that managed to get through the whole year. Knock on wood. I guess you got a few more days still, but with your schedule, I mean, I know it kind of got shuffled a little bit, but you played, every week you were supposed to play. I guess what is that? You think that's just been mostly good luck, or what do you think you guys maybe have done differently? Both of you, both programs. I don't know how much you've talked with them, but.
Well, you mentioned the word luck. I'd say it's just a matter of circumstance. It's very different. In hindsight, the teams that really, I don't want to use the word exposed, but that kind of used the herd immunity and got a lot of guys, that contracted it a lot early, were able to overcome it. We were very, very good for a long, long time. And then it hit us, and it hit us at a very bad time. When you're already thin and beat up at the end of the year and you're playing two of the top 5 or 6 ranked team in the country, that's not when you want to be thin. So it's just circumstance. It's just what it is. It's strange. I know we worked extremely hard to keep our players safe and to adhere to the protocols that were in place. It's hitting us. I see other guys canceling. I hear teams canceling day of, and a player here, a player there. Shit, we have 26, 27 people in this building that have it right now, but we're still competing, and we're playing by the rules. And again, we're not going to duck anybody. We're going to play, and that's the way I've always been. That's the way we're going to do it.
John Hale?
Mark, yesterday, J.J. Weaver's mom said he tore his ACL Saturday. What's the update on his status and I guess the prognosis for if he's going to be ready for next year too?
He's got a serious lower leg injury, and he'll be out for some time. And we're extremely disappointed for JJ. He was arguably playing as good as anybody on our team. So it's disappointing. JJ is in good spirits. He will return. He will overcome this injury. Many people have the injury that he has, and he'll get back. Our docs will do a great job. He'll rehab extremely hard. He'll be back. It'll take some time, but he'll come back at full strength. And it is disappointing to see a young man play so hard, so physical, so talented. It's very disappointing.
John Clay?
Mark, obviously Kelvin Joseph is a very talented player, but he's also shown some immaturity at times. How do you approach his development going forward?
Yeah, I mean, I got to continue to do the best I can, John. It is not, as you know from covering us, it's not the way we want to represent ourselves at times with the penalties and the undisciplined plays. Kelvin's a competitor. He understands once you talk to him and get him on the side and visit with him, but he gets very competitive in games. But some of it is absolutely unacceptable. Like the one play on Saturday, there's no excuse. Can't have it. It's totally unacceptable. And it'll be addressed. And, it won't happen for a long time. I can promise you that. Kelvin's still relatively new to our culture and the way we do things, and we'll continue to teach him. That's our job, is to coach and to teach and to bring guys along. So we'll continue to work with him.
Larry,
Mark, I know you said you don't want to duck anybody and you're keep playing, go right along. But could you just give us an idea how tough this year has been emotionally and mentally on players and staff and everything from all that you all have dealt with?
Yeah, it's hard to put in the words, Larry. It is. I don't really want to get in all specific words in detail how difficult it is, because people will say it's an excuse. I think you and I personally know, and I could talk to you about it. And I know it's been, definitely one of the most trying times, certainly one of the most trying coaching experiences of my life. And I've been through some tough ones. And again, I don't really want that to be the headline, because it's about the players. I am paid to do this job. I accept it. I can shoulder it. I'll be fine. I do care about our players, and I do care about their mental and physical well-being. And it's been very, very trying on them.
Gary,
And Mark, you were talking about ducking anybody, just like Larry had asked. But I mean, what does it say about your players' resilience that, in spite of all the issues, that you have gotten to this point in the season through it, even with the losses?
It says a lot, because we haven't had one player opt out. We haven't had one player quit. We have had players not play to the standard that they expect of themselves and that we expect of them. That's coaching. That's us getting through it. That's dealing with circumstances. Some people deal with things better than others, but I still love each and every one of them. And, they have really fought. And I think it does say a lot about us, because it's really easy. Look around the country. It's really easy just to say, I give, I submit, I quit. And look for a rock to hide under, but nobody's doing that here. And we're not going to do that. And I appreciate that. And I respect our players. And it says a lot about them. We're playing hard. We need to coach better, and we need to execute better in moments. But I do love this team.
Lonnie,
what is the chance of getting Justin Reed back? I realize there's more people out than Justin, but given the emphasis that you like to put on the way you like to run your offense and what have you, and your 12 personnel and all,
Yeah.
I was wondering if you had a chance of getting him back, and in addition to that, how's Brendan Bates playing?
Yes. Hopefully we will get Justin back. It's good to get Bates back out there. Last week, obviously, Keaton's playing very good football, and you're right, Lonnie. 12 personnel is a big part of offense, and we do have a good chance to get Justin back this week, so that'll help.
Mark,
Mark, two things about your seniors. Have any of them indicated, or do you expect any of them to use the free year and come back? And secondly, could you talk about just the three offensive linemen, Landon, Drake, and Luke Ford, and what they've meant to the program?
Yeah, the seniors, we will have some discussions next week. I'm waiting until the season's over and we'll talk with some of the seniors. I've had brief conversations with some of them, and we'll address all that next week. But Luke, Drake, and Landon, and Darian, I hope Darian comes back for another year. But those three guys and Darian, they've been rock solid for many years and have meant an awful lot to the program. You cannot ask for better young men than the three guys you just mentioned there, and again with Darian. Just incredible people, great leaders, work extremely hard on that field every day, and have come to play every day for a long time. So very appreciative of them.
Derek,
Mark, yeah, I was wondering with Vito Tisdale being listed as one of the guys at Jack, I was wondering how much he's practiced there and how comfortable would you be having him out there?
Should have been listed at Sam because he plays that position. You see him in there. We call that a medium personnel. So it's our base personnel calls with a defensive back in there. So he's been doing that. He can do that. He could run any call we have, just with a defensive back rather than an outside backer. So he's been doing that. But with the injury to JJ, we can move Boogie back over to Jack and play Jordan Wright and Vito at the Sam nickel.
Josh,
Mark, you mentioned a few minutes ago about the not having anybody opt out. That's what I wanted to ask about, was just have those conversations, have any of those conversations happened where guys maybe came to you and were on the fence? And I don't expect you to name anybody specifically, but if that, I guess, how do you work through those conversations, and what do you think has been different for you guys? Because pretty much everybody else has had players step away.
I don't know. I hope it's the long work that we've done with the culture of our program. I hope it's because of the obligation that they have for each other. And, I haven't had to ask anybody to come back or to try to talk them into it. I would never do that. If that's what they wanted to do, then I'd shake their hand, thank them, and move them on their way. There's nothing else you can do. And listen, I understand there's good reasons, and I'm not criticizing anybody. I'm proud of the fact that nobody on our team has done that. But that's not to say that people don't have their reasons and they're valid and they're good. But each individual, each person must do what's right for them. But I think it does say a lot for our program and our team that we haven't had anybody. And I certainly haven't had to sell anybody on staying. No, I wouldn't do that.
John Wong,
Mark, you've gone the whole year watching opposing receivers make plays on your team. How great was it to finally see somebody like Keaton come through and make the play that he made? And what is the plan for kind of upgrading the passing game in the coming year?
Yeah, there's no denying that, John. That we need to improve. I appreciate Keaton and all of our players. I'm going to tell you, even our receivers, I know they haven't received the football as much as they'd like, but I promise you, quite a few of those guys I really have a lot of respect for. They're really battling and working hard and still trying to improve and get open and get the ball. And I really do appreciate those guys. And we do need to get better. There's no denying that. Some of the football that we put out there is unacceptable. And that's my job as the head coach to look at that and address it and improve. I don't want to get into specifics. There's no time for pointing fingers and doing all that right now. But I have to continue to move the program forward. There's no doubt in my mind that I have to continue to look at all things and improve and get better. And I will certainly do that after this week.
John Hale,
Mark, obviously quarterback play has been such a conversation piece all season, but going into presumably what will be his last game in Lexington, what do you think Terry Wilson's legacy should be in this program?
I think it should be that he did everything he could for this program. He's a young man that helped us win 10 games. That there's no taking that away from him. And that's I'm talking about him. And him being a starting quarterback as a sophomore and leading us. I'm off there. I don't know if the whole TV went off.
Still on this.
It's, guys, hear me? Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we
Cut
can
out.
hear you.
Okay. There's always a little bit of technical issues here, but Terry, again, I think he's a guy that laid it all out on the line for his team each and every week. None of us are perfect. That's a hard position to play. He came back from a very serious injury, and he gave it everything he has, and I greatly appreciate that. There's frustration at times at every one of our positions. Quarterback, there's a bullseye on you, and all eyes are on the quarterback each and every down. And so I think he's handled that very well, and I appreciate that from him.
John Clay.
Mark, obviously South Carolina hasn't had the season they wanted to have either, but can you talk about Kevin Harris, what kind of running back he is? And can you also talk about, they made a change quarterback with Luke Doty. What have you seen out of him?
Yeah, I see a guy that's very talented. Obviously they a young player that they want to get some snaps and get some reps, and you can see the talent in there. And with Harris, one of the top, I want to put 2, 3, 4 backs in this conference, and that's saying a lot. He is hard to get down. Runs exceptionally hard. I think they do a really good job blocking. Really respect the way they put a hat on a hat and run very physical. They block physically, and he runs tough as well.
Nick.
Obviously there's been a lot of crazy stuff this year, but you can't necessarily eliminate it. But if you win the final game of the year against a divisional opponent, it can do a lot for you, especially building momentum into the offseason. Do you stress that going into the week that you can kind of wipe the slate clean if you end the season on a high note?
Well, I think you address it each and every week, and this is the last week. That's the situation. As you know, I've talked about it before, but I mean, each situation, each week is different. What you're talking about is a fact. That is, it is our last game of the year. It is important. It's important for our seniors to go out the right way. Our motivation is different each and every week, but certainly that is a part of it. You definitely want to end the right way. I think each and every year, you could go back and look at what if, a play here, a play there, a game here, a game there. And sometimes it could totally change the outlook of a season. The margin for error this year with playing 10 conference games, you could see the toll that it's taken on many of us programs in the SEC. It's difficult. And anybody that was crying for more conference games better take a hard look at what happened this year to the league. So it is important to go out with a win. And as I also mentioned all year, each week we hit the reset button, and it's extremely important to try to go 1-0 that week. And so it's a big game for many reasons.
Gary.
Mark, what areas do you see encouragement? I mean, you talked about improvement, but what areas are you encouraged by even with these last couple of games?
I think it's the effort is the big thing. We're not 100%, believe me. There's some guys that need to look at this film and need to evaluate themselves and to see if that's everything they have. We're not perfect, but there's a lot of guys that are in a difficult situation, in a trying season. I see a lot of great effort, and I still see a lot of great leadership, and that makes me proud.
All right, we've got 3 more. John Hale, then Josh, and John Wall.
Mark, there's been some speculation just because of the virus and all the protocols that not everybody will accept bowl bids this year if they get them. Will you all definitely play in a bowl game if you have the opportunity to do that?
I'm not sure. I really haven't addressed that yet. I need to visit with our team. I think, the biggest thing would be the mindset of our team and to make sure that they would be all in and want to do that. I certainly would want to, and I think our staff would, and our administration. There's going to be a lot of teams playing in bowl games with 3 and 4 wins. And so, we need to win this game. That's for sure. But I'll address that next week, and it'll really be the temperature of our football team. I definitely don't want to go in there half-hearted. I want to go in with all-in mentality and ready to play and compete.
All right, John Long, and then we'll wrap up with Josh.
Hey, Mark, I know these types of interactions between coaches occur on the sidelines all the time, so I don't want you to take this the wrong way, but the camera did pick up a pretty animated conversation between you and Eddie and Vince. I may be wrong, but it might have been right before the Keaton Upshaw touchdown pass. I didn't know if you remember what was going on during that, but more importantly, what is the dynamic between you and Eddie, especially when your team has the ball? Are you letting Eddie just call all the shots, or do you just step in when you need to? How does that work?
Well, we had a discussion at that point in time, but animated or hot or hostile, absolutely not. Intense, maybe. But no, that was a very good discussion there. We talked about a couple things, and then ultimately I said, do what you want, do what your gut, do what you practiced, trust your instincts, and call the play. And he did. Eddie called it, and we scored. And so, I try to stay out of that as much as I can. I have some input, but I try to leave that up to Eddie and the offense staff.
Josh, bring us home.
Mark, you mentioned earlier the second half, the last couple of weeks has been, and then maybe even going back to Vanderbilt's kind of, it's not been what you wanted. Is there anything, when you watch those tapes, is there anything like a commonality that you're seeing as far as those breakdowns?
I think a big piece of it is again, I mentioned it, but it's not complementing each other. One thing that I get a lot of compliments from other coaches or other coaches point out to me is how well our team generally complements each other, the way our style, the way we've played the past couple of years. This year, it hasn't been on point. And I think, sometimes in the second half, it's a great example of that. And that's something that I need to address. We need to get better. And that's on me. So I don't think, you have to, when you're playing the teams that we've played the past 2 weeks, you've got to be on point. You got to be perfect in, and whether it be offensively, sometimes it's some of our best players, but it's like one play. And then maybe, 2 or 3 plays later, it's another player, just one play. And ultimately it comes down to me getting everybody to play together and to play, complement each other as a team. We're not dynamic enough on any one side to just take over a game. And so we need to play well together, and we haven't done that. So that's up to me to go back and to find the right recipe to help us win games, because obviously this year did not work. And that's on me as the head coach.
All right, everybody. Appreciate it. We will see you after.